Well, we've hit a bit of a dead period thanks to the Euro 2020. It's 2021, but Euro 2020 kicking off. But we still have some updates for you. Let's see what we got. Welcome to the Bianconeri Zone. I'm Justin Sofro. It is Monday, June 14th, 2021. And before we do anything, I'm going to need you to smash that like button and smash the subscribe button. Please do it. It really helps our channel grow. We're going to be able to bring you more and more content and more individuals and different stuff that we can do that'll be outside of just your regular news updates. So please go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, please. All right. Let's get into the news. This first little bit is what we're calling the back to the past, which is not exciting if you're certain people. If you're me, it's not the most exciting bit of news that you can have, but it's what we got. So, starting off, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, Demiral will leave as he wants more playing time, and he wants a style that fits his a little bit more defensively. Rugani will be tested out again, but the dream replacement remains Milinkovic. So right now, what we're looking at is if Demiral departs, I can see you, cringing as I'm saying this. But Rugani is an option to return in the defensive role. After I'm having flashbacks right now of goal after goal given up by Rugani midway to the end of the season, and just how miserable that was. But that's an option, I guess, more of a financial option than anything going forward. Milinkovic, of course, is a name. Fiorentina, how that works out with him, I'd be open to having him at Juventus. Also, guys, I'm just a quick break, real quick, just to let you know, this is my third time shooting this, so I'm praying this one works out. I had some technical issues, so I apologize if I'm not as chipper doing this for the third time in a row. Going forward, okay. Atalanta have showed interest. This is from Di Marzio, saying that Atalanta have shown interest in Demiral. However, his wages do remain a problem. So yeah, that's one of my main issues. Is I wonder, can Atalanta? They can get like a Romero or somebody like that who's a lower price. They're already trying to flip him, which is another story. But also like a Demiral who's a bit more expensive for them. Maybe they're using some of that money, the top four finishes that they've had, that they can maybe purchase a player of that caliber. Though I still tend to lean more toward the camp that I think if Demiral leaves, it'll probably be for the Premier League. Going on, because the Sport is also saying that the chances, and before I get into this, we'll say this. I know I've had some conversation, or I've seen some comments, and I've responded to some saying about, there's certain names that have popped up, and maybe I don't have all the information to give to you right now. If you want me to give a full breakdown on all these players and all these stats, no offense, I don't know about Bum McGee who lives in Brazil playing for whatever in South America. No, I don't know all these players. I'm not taking all this time because a lot of the time, a lot of what we're going to get here, especially right now in the summer market, you're going to have hundreds of names throughout this time that are just going to keep popping up. Or not just keep popping up, but they're going to pop up, and then you'll never hear about them again. So right now, the way I'm kind of going about this is if a name pops up, I'll bring it. I'll mention it to you. That's the news. If that name keeps recurring, and it's a name we keep hearing, like we're going to keep hearing some coming up soon, then we'll go more into it because then we know it's a serious player for Juventus. A lot of these get flown out by agents or whoever it is for their own benefit and their own financial, kind of gain, using Juventus to maybe, barter with the club that they're currently at. So a lot of these players may not be what Juventus is getting into seriously. So I'll mention the name. I'm not going to, I don't know if you want me to waste hours of my time breaking down the tactical, whatever player, aspects of this player, never to be heard again. So that's how I'll do it. But again, the reason I bring that up is going forward, we have some names that keep recurring that are scaring me. Because the Sport is saying that the chances of Pjanic returning to Juventus are increasing by the day. A loan of 1 or 2 years, which could allow Barca to save the player's high salary, could be the solution. And that's why it gets me a little bit nervous. Are we going backward? Is that where this club's going right now? Are we just going to go back to the well? The way I see Pjanic, to me, and I understand there's some of you out there, and there's always going to be different opinions, but I understand Pjanic did have some decent years, and maybe under Allegri he could get that back. But I wasn't impressed by his last 2 years. He didn't do a lot with Barca. Obviously, it may not be a good climate for him. But right now, to me, he should be the last option. He should be if we can't get anybody else and we need to add something, but this is our only option, then you go grab Pjanic and be like, okay, you can come back on loan. But to me, I just don't think our finances and or whatever need to be put into a player of Pjanic's caliber right now. I think we need to look a little bit higher. We need to set our standards a little bit higher, and we need to go younger. We need to look for the future. We don't need to be going back. We don't need to be taking any steps back is the way I look at it. So that's my opinion on that, and that's why I'm saying it scares me, though, because that name keeps getting popped up and it keeps being pushed. It's not a, Tielemans who's just said one time and I haven't really heard much since. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Okay. We'll go on to the striker position, which is a big bit of the news. Gazzetta dello Sport is saying, in the attack, a lot will depend on Ronaldo in his future. Allegri has already identified the favorite possible substitute, Gabriel Jesus. I like Jesus. I think it's a solid option. Man City will be open up to a loan. Juventus will try to take advantage of it if they do. The Sport has compiled a list of different potential strikers that could take over or that could fill the position should Ronaldo leave a year early. Looks like the number one is Vlahovic. I always have a hard time saying that. I don't know why. But Vlahovic is the number one option. I agree. I like Vlahovic a lot. I just need to say V. Basically, I like he's young. He's great competitor. I think that would be a solid option for Juventus to add. Then we go into the likes of Icardi, who we know we flirted back and forth of Juventus and Icardi over the years. I'm starting to grow a little bit more accepting of if Icardi were to come, especially if you're going to deal with PSG. My preferred option would have been the Man U route if we're doing Ronaldo swaps. But that's just where I stand. The next name on the list is Milik. Milik's one that does not excite me at all. My main reason is he can be a solid striker when he's healthy. He's not healthy very often. He's injured a lot. Plus, he's getting up there in age. He's getting a little bit older, and he's always injured. To me, that's not a good investment for Juventus, especially they've done enough of that. They've done enough of players like, Khedira, whoever, who are just, medical investments. We don't need that right now. We need solid players that we know are going to be healthy and at least are younger and they're showing that they have the ability to play well. We've said about Jesus. Then we go to Zeko. Zeko's another option where 4 or 5 years ago would have been great. Yeah, I think that would have been a good option. Right now, I understand he can come in and be a backup striker, something of that standpoint. But to me, again, I would rather go after a better investment who can play more minutes, who's not 35 or however years old and getting up there and closer to retirement. I'd rather get a younger player. Finally, they have Belotti again. I don't know why they're so insistent on pushing Belotti, especially because it seems like Cairo will not sell to Juventus given his, vitriol for the club. But Belotti, to me, I don't. Okay, of course, I'm a shill for the Italian national team, so having Belotti would be a positive for me. I don't know if he's what's best for Juventus. I'd be open to him, but he's not my top guy. All right, moving forward, we'll talk about the right back. In Gazzetta dello Sport is saying that Florenzi is a concrete target for Juventus. PSG has not used their option to buy him because they want to try and lower the price, which to me is hilarious that they want to lower the price. I think he's already got a really low price tag of a few million or so. But of course, now they're looking to save money, not when Donnarumma's on the table. Which of course, I agree. Like especially but they have Navas and all that situation. And of course, I agree that I kind of believe that Donnarumma is worth the investment into him. Especially when you're watching right now. I think Szczesny gave up an own goal in the so that's where our future lands right now is the play he had last year, which I didn't think it was terrible, but I didn't think it was fantastic. He's given up own goals. We've had 2 Juventus players give up own goals. Of course, one of them was beneficial to a team that I support, so I'm okay with it. But it's just difficult to see Szczesny perform like this, and then we had Donnarumma out there that could have been the future of Juventus. But Florenzi is an option that I am growing more positive, not positive, but just like I'd be accepting, especially if you can get him on the cheap. Moving forward, we have some news that, like I said, I've said this a few times. I had a little bit more passion and more excitement the first time I did it, and a little bit more emotion. Now it's a little bit dull just because I've said it 3 times, and hopefully this will be the last time I have to do it, and hopefully this one will work. But some news that we've seen pop up over the weekend, and Romeo Gresti is saying Buffon is set to sign a 2-year deal at Parma. It makes me really sad to see Buffon leave. We knew he was leaving Juventus after the season. It just makes me disappointed because I saw a lot of the play of Buffon, and I saw, to me, I think he should still, I kind of still lean. I mean, he should have been the starting goalkeeper for the last few years. I wish he never got pushed out to go to PSG. If he would have stayed here, I think we're sitting better overall because we probably had Donnarumma come in for him instead of being stuck with Szczesny. But it makes me sad because Buffon, may have his kit behind me, and then Del Piero. Those are the two players are the reason why I am so passionate about Juventus and how I became a Juventus fan when I was a young kid. So it's difficult for me to see one of my heroes leave, regardless. And, it's always in the best standing, but at the same time, it's difficult. Though, I will say that of all the places he would have gone, Parma is the place that I prefer him go. Anywhere else would have been difficult. To see him in a Barca, to see him at a Real Madrid, to see him anywhere, even anywhere else in Serie A, especially given that Parma, since they're going to be playing in Serie B this year, he's got something to play for. He's got a passion that he can build up, and then he can help lead, his first love, I guess you will, like, your first girlfriend or whatever, back from the depths of Serie B back to Serie A. It'd be like his last big achievement. And then also there's rumors that he's talking about, trying to come back and play and become the third goalkeeper for the World Cup in 2022. Sorry, I blanked on this earlier. I kept doing it. For the World Cup in 2022, which would be great because, like, with all the turmoil and stuff that happened with Italy not making the World Cup last time, and then he never got his swan song. He never got that big farewell for a man who went out there and played with all of his heart and won the World Cup and helped lead that team to the World Cup victory was huge. And I just think he needs to get the respect. I mean, he has the respect that he deserves, but he needs to have that moment to really be able to cheer him on. And I would love to see him be able to do that, especially if he can play in a match or something like that while, representing Italy and wearing this again. So that's where I stand on Buffon. And then the final bit of the news for the day is just some statements made regarding Ronaldo, his future. He gave me a statement, and I think Romeo Agresti had a couple comments. Basically, Ronaldo said regarding his future, Juve or somewhere else, he said, "I've been playing at my best for years, and that won't affect me at the European Championship. I'm 36 now. What will come will be the best. Now I'm focused on the European Championship." When I say this, kind of generic. I mean, what else are you going to say? Yeah, you're going to say, I'm going to go out there and I want to win it. I want to play at my best, my highest level. If a player's not saying that, then I got a problem with the player. I don't want them saying, yeah, what'll happen? We may not have a great club. No, shut up. I want you to say that you're going to go out there and you're going to compete and you want to win. That's what a competitor does. Romeo Agresti said, in the last few weeks, we've been reading about potential destinations for Ronaldo. At the moment, these are just ideas. To date, Juventus have not received any official offer for Cristiano. To be expected until he makes his decision. Then those offers will start pouring in. Well, actually, I don't know if they'll start pouring in. Not many people can afford him on his wages, so he's probably going to have to lower his wages if he wants to go back to Man United or something like that. PSG is the only one who's got money to throw around everywhere. And then Romeo Agresti said that since Juve Porto, Ronaldo's entourage has started trying to evaluate some situations, PSG would like to keep Mbappe, so Ronaldo could become an idea only if the Frenchman were to leave, which makes sense. That's a pretty solid backup plan to have Mbappe going out, and you're just like, come on, Ronaldo, come on in. So, again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I would have preferred to have, I prefer the deal with Man United be done to try to, if they were to work out a Pogba Ronaldo swap rather than a Mbappe, or not Mbappe, that's not going to happen, like an Icardi Ronaldo swap kind of deal. So we'll see what happens there. It's just a situation to monitor. We kind of know the situation with Ronaldo. More than likely he's gone, if not before the season, after the season. But it's just who's going to replace him, and then can we make some kind of deal out of it? So it's just something to monitor until the end of the season. But that's all the news I have for you today. Check in with us tomorrow to stay up to date with the latest roundup covering all things Juventus. Please like the video and subscribe. It really helps us grow, and it really does help the channel. So please go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe right now. And don't forget to hit that bell to stay up to date. As soon as the video drops, you'll get a notification, and that way you can be up to date with the latest news as it happens. Follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and on Instagram, and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.